Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of NoDQ video here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRift, NoDQ. Got more of your questions as we head into Fastlane, which is the next bump on the road to WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans. Let's get down to your questions today. First one comes from Kit. Long time no see, Aaron. What is your opinion on John Cena now being rumored to face Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania? As rumors say Mysterio has finalized his deal with WWE or close. Your thoughts? As much as I would like to see Rey Mysterio back in WWE, I am not really a big fan of John Cena versus Rey Mysterio. The thing about John Cena versus Rey Mysterio is that now it's a step down. If John Cena announces that he's facing Rey Mysterio or Rey Mysterio comes out and challenges him, the problem is that John Cena already teased the match with Undertaker. I don't think it's a good idea in that sense. Would the match be good? Probably. But now that Cena has teased the match with Undertaker, I don't think WWE should do John Cena versus Rey Mysterio. Unless something happens or something did happen with The Undertaker and he was unable to compete at WrestleMania. In that case, you go with a backup plan, John Cena versus Rey Mysterio. The thing is, though, if Undertaker was hurt and was not going to do WrestleMania, then WWE should not have even teased the idea that Undertaker and John Cena might happen at WrestleMania. John Cena going out there on Raw and teasing Undertaker makes me believe it's happening, and this Rey Mysterio story, Mysterio coming back to WWE, that is pretty much a given at this point. Coming off of the Royal Rumble, being in great shape, getting that crowd reaction, his video getting something like 6-7 million views on YouTube. Mysterio coming back and having another run, I think, is inevitable as long as WWE and Mysterio can come to terms. But Mysterio versus Cena, I feel like that is something that has been manufactured by WWE. Sports Illustrated is a major outlet. So if something pops up on Sports Illustrated, NoDQ.com and every other wrestling site, every other Facebook group, message board, you name it, will be talking about it. And it will throw people off. And I think that's what WWE is trying to accomplish with this John Cena, Rey Mysterio match that is being thrown out there. I would be really surprised if that happens instead of Cena versus Undertaker. And speaking of that topic, from Smurtaza, hey Aaron, which match would you rather see, John Cena versus Undertaker or John Cena versus Rey Mysterio? I would have much rather seen John Cena versus Undertaker several years ago. Now it's a bit of a toss-up. Again, if WWE had not teased Cena and Undertaker on Raw, I think I'd be neck and neck. I still like John Cena versus The Undertaker. There's a couple issues, though. The number one issue is what happened last year at WrestleMania. Undertaker more or less retired. He left his gear in the ring, and that felt like a fitting end for The Undertaker. Is he really going to come back and lose to John Cena again? That's my big question. And the other question is, what kind of match would they have? Obviously, if they did this match several years ago, it would be better. At this point, they're going to have to rely on their characters and the dynamic, the crowd reaction, much like Hogan and Rock was more about the crowd reaction than the quality of the actual match itself. Mysterio and Cena would be good, but again, it's face versus face. Same with Undertaker and Cena. I still feel like, in terms of star power, Undertaker and Cena is a better match to do, and I guess you could argue it's better late than never, but I think ideally this match should have been done years ago. But maybe it'll work out. Maybe WWE will have a compelling storyline for these guys, and maybe they'll have a better match that exceeds expectations. Who knows? Maybe it'll stink up the joint. It's really hard to say. It's a tough call for me as to which match I would prefer, but I think I would give the slight edge to Cena and Undertaker. I mean, I'm not really that big of a fan of Cena versus Mysterio, period. I just feel there are better matches you can do. That's just my take on it, though. I could really go either way. I mean, honestly, to tell you guys the truth, my opinion, I'd rather see John Cena versus Samoa Joe at WrestleMania than either of those matches. But again, that's just me. That's just my own personal opinion on that. Got this one here from They See Me Rollins. They See Me Rollins, like the song. Let's say Brock Lesnar walks out on WWE and Roman Reigns gets suspended because of a new wellness policy violation. What happens to the Universal title at WrestleMania? Well, that would be really disastrous if Lesnar walked out on WWE and Roman Reigns got suspended. I think the most likely thing that might happen to cause a change of plans would be Roman Reigns getting suspended due to new information that is revealed from the filmmaker John Bravo. But at this point, at least as of this video, nothing has officially been released. But reportedly, WWE does have a backup plan, and Braun Strowman will be inserted into whatever role is needed if something happens and WWE cannot do Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. A lot of people are wondering, why would WWE even set up this match now with the recent steroid allegations and Brock Lesnar being at the end of his contract? The thing is, Lesnar's a professional. For him to walk out on WWE as the Universal Champion, I mean, that would be extremely unprofessional. Even if he was unhappy creatively, he's being paid a lot of money, and I think at the end of the day, he's going to go out there and do whatever the company wants him to do as long as they pay him. I think that's clear. The guy is a businessman, and it's bad business to walk out on the company and be unprofessional. So I really don't think that's going to happen. I think if anything happens, Reigns will get in trouble and get suspended. WWE will have no choice. But even that at this point is a big question mark, depending on what evidence is out there against him that WWE doesn't already know about. Got this one here from Garrett Mills. Is it time for Randy Orton to turn heel again? And why did he stop the punting the opponent's head? I would say yes, it is time to turn him heel again. It's been that way for a while. And Randy Orton has, for years, been very vocal about preferring to be a heel over being a babyface. I feel like he's been stale for a while. I get this question a lot about him, and I say it every time. Yes, 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 he should turn heel. Regarding why he stopped doing the punt, I guess because it's a heelish type of move. I think that question would be better to ask him directly. Maybe he'll even answer you on Twitter or social media. But I would assume that's the case. You know, punting somebody in the head isn't exactly a good guy thing to do unless it's a really evil character and you're doing the ultimate payback on that guy by punting him in the head. But WWE sells the punting like it's such a devastating move that can end somebody's career, and it's like a move that crosses the line, so to speak. But that's just speculation on my part. I really don't know the exact reason. It could just be WWE thinks the move looks too dangerous. You know, much like the curb stomp was banned for a while, Vince might go through his phases of moves that he doesn't want to be used on television. It could be as simple as that. Got this one here from Slow Motion. Randy Orton ranks 10th on my all-time WWE superstar list behind a bunch of guys. But is it fair to say that he is an underachiever? Interesting question. I think Randy Orton is a very polarizing figure. I think some fans would consider him to be among the all-time greatest in WWE, and others might think he's overrated. And he's not really one of the best in WWE, and over the years, he hasn't really had a lot of classic matches. He's had some really good matches, but some people think he's boring in the ring. He does too many rest holds, and he doesn't take enough crazy bumps, or whatever. I think Orton is one of the better WWE performers in history. Maybe not top 10, but certainly top 25. He's got to be up there. I think it just depends on your criteria of Randy Orton. I think he's had some really great matches in his own right. I think he's a very solid talker, not top tier, but when you look at all the attributes, he's really good. Maybe not among the best of the best in any category, but certainly one of the most well-rounded, solid performers ever in WWE, in my opinion. And that's where I would rank him. Somewhere in the top 25, maybe not the top 10, probably not the top 10, but definitely in that top 25. Just depends on who you ask, I think. This one comes from M. Compton. Which main champions do you see walking out of WrestleMania 34 still champion? Maybe AJ Styles. I find it hard to believe that Nakamura will beat AJ Styles and become WWE champion, but stranger things have happened, right? I could see AJ retaining. Lesnar's not retaining. I would be very surprised if that happened. Some of the other championships, depending on who Charlotte's facing, I think Asuka's going to win whichever championship she goes for. I definitely see that happening. Tag team titles, depending on the match, I could see the Bar retaining. If the Hardys reunite, I could see the Hardys winning. IC Championship, I could see that changing hands, considering that the title hot potatoes a lot in WWE. US title, depending on who the champion is, I could see Bobby Roode either losing it or if he loses it to Randy Orton, which I don't know if that's going to happen at Fastlane or not. That could go either way. Maybe that'll be something to get Randy Orton's career back in high gear. Maybe he'll turn heel, going back to that earlier question. Right now, it's tough to say. I mean, the only one where I feel like there's definitely going to be a title change is Asuka winning a title. And as far as a person retaining, I think AJ retaining is the most likely outcome. This one comes from a friend of mine, Daniel Long from Seattle. Why is WWE cracking down on fans having a good time with beach balls and stuff like that? It's one thing that they try to control the fans with who they cheer with their product, but fans pay for their seats and experience, let them have fun. A lot of people don't like the distraction, and a lot of people think it's disrespectful to the talent that are performing and putting their bodies on the line. I can look at it both ways. I feel like it does add a little bit of fun to the show, and it creates an atmosphere. Like at rock concerts, people would use the beach balls, and it's just part of the experience. I have mixed feelings about it. I'm having NoDQ.com beach balls made, and WWE's banning beach balls. I'm not saying to bring a NoDQ.com beach ball to a WWE show, but hopefully some people will pick up a beach ball and have fun with it. Beach balls are meant to have fun with, and beach balls are awesome. I don't see... If it was a public safety thing at an event, which some might argue it could be, somebody could get hit in the head if somebody's swinging at a beach ball. So there is the potential for it being a public safety issue. So you got to look at it rationally from all different perspectives. And I can understand both sides, that it's harmless, it's fun. And on the other hand, I could see it's disrespectful. It could potentially hurt somebody. So, you know, whatever WWE does, you know, it's their show, and they have the right to enforce whatever rules they want to enforce. I mean, it is their show. So whatever your feeling is on it, you have to at least respect WWE's decision, as it's their company and their decision what they want as far as the rules. This one comes from Wrestling Tubes. Hey Aaron, do you think WWE dropped the ball on Ryback? I've gotten this question a couple of times over the years. I would say yes in terms of his big push in 2012. The story is WWE backed themselves into a corner. WWE already planned out Rock versus CM Punk for the title at the Royal Rumble, and Rock was going to win and then face John Cena at WrestleMania. That was the plan going back to Raw 1000. Something happened though. Ryback was gaining tremendous momentum in a very short period of time. WWE made a bad decision. They decided to put Ryback in there undefeated against CM Punk in a Hell in a Cell match, but they did not want to change their plans and put the title on Ryback because Rock was scheduled to beat CM Punk, and WWE wanted Punk as strong as possible going up against The Rock at the Royal Rumble. The match shouldn't have happened, but WWE wanted to take advantage of Ryback's popularity, and I think Cena got hurt actually around that time too, which might have influenced WWE's decision to put Ryback in that spot. It was a mistake. WWE booked themselves into a corner, and there was a no-win situation. If Punk lost, it made him weak for the Royal Rumble, even if he won the title back. And if Ryback lost, which he did, it weakened his momentum. Beyond that, I think WWE did what they could with Ryback, and you know, he turned heel. I think that hurt him a little bit. I do think more could have been done with him, and he could have had a lengthier run in WWE. You know, him being in the kickoff match was just dumb. So I totally don't blame Ryback for being frustrated at that point. It was time to go for him. You know, he should either be pushed towards the top or don't use him, period. Because a guy that looks like him, he's a tank. And you believe he can beat up anybody. He's got the size and the strength. He's a beast. So if you're not going to push him like one, don't use him. Got this one here from the Soggy Sausage. I like that name. First time asker? With what big Cass soon returning, could you see WWE making him into this big badass? I mean, slap a beard on him, give him some kick-ass music, and he's golden. I agree with you. I think changing his music is a good idea. I think giving him a new look is a good idea. You don't want to associate him with Enzo. So I think it's important for him to come back with a new identity. And yeah, like I said, this relates to the Ryback question. Big Cass is a beast. When he comes back, give him a big push, give him some cool music, and see where he can go. But yeah, he needs to be a monster destroying people, no doubt about it. And I feel it's absolutely the right decision to update his look and his music and his overall identity and give him a fresh start when he returns. Absolutely. This one comes from Chris Manley, 2018. Hey Aaron, can I get your opinion on something? Maybe. I'm just watching Jericho versus Edge from WrestleMania 26, and it still baffles me how Edge just lost to Swagger to get the title. What were your thoughts on that match? You're not the only one, my friend. It baffles me too. Jack Swagger. Why did WWE decide to go with him as champion? I think it was him being Vince's flavor of the month. Vince or somebody in a high position in WWE was high on Jack Swagger. Not that way. I mean, they thought he had potential to be a top guy. High on him. And once he got the title, they got cold feet. Vince, or whoever was in charge, got cold feet on Jack Swagger, and they booked him perhaps worse than any world champion in WWE history. I mean, there have been a few guys over the years, like Rey Mysterio in 2006, and Alberto Del Rio, Sheamus, but yeah. Jack Swagger won the world title, and then they booked him like a mid-carder. So it was really very counterproductive. If you're going to put the title on him, give him the big push. Strap the rocket to him. Just like Mahal. Jinder Mahal's another example. A guy, they put the title on him, and then he never won any matches. When he did, he had to have tons of outside interference, and he really had no credibility. Same thing with Swagger. He really had no credibility as champion, and his run just quickly fizzled out. Got this one here from Boogeyman79. Hey Aaron, with the joint brand pay-per-views happening after Mania, do you think some of the NXT superstars should be involved in a pay-per-view to maybe face some Raw or SmackDown talent, or maybe just be on the show in general? Not necessarily, and keep in mind that once WWE starts doing the joint brand pay-per-views, there's going to be even fewer spots than ever. So I don't see a real opportunity to bring in NXT guys and them to be able to make a real impact. I think the best thing to do is just slowly introduce new NXT stars, call them up after WrestleMania, maybe a couple of people for each brand, and then after SummerSlam you do it, and just slowly throughout the year introduce people to the main roster. But I think it would be a mistake to start putting NXT guys on pay-per-views when there's so few spots to begin with. And even if you do that, those NXT guys are probably going to get lost in the shuffle, which isn't good. You want to be able to bring them in and have them make a huge impact. So I don't really think that idea would work at this point. This one comes from That's Gotta Be Kane. When The Miz is set to end his in-ring career, do you think he will take the opportunity to focus on family and step away from WWE, or do you think he would succeed in a Paul Heyman-like role of manager or mouthpiece for future talent? Again, I think this is one of those questions where he would be best to answer it. Knowing how The Miz is in terms of his dedication to his craft, I think he'll always be part of WWE in some fashion. I don't see him, and I don't know the guy, but based off of everything I've heard about him, he comes off to me like a guy who eats, sleeps, and breathes wrestling. It's his life, like a lot of these guys. I think he will do something else after his in-ring career is over. And I still think he's got, unless he gets hurt, I think he's got at least another decade in him of being a top guy in WWE. Once his in-ring career is over, I absolutely see him doing other things in wrestling, whether it's managing or commentary. He might be a great commentator. I mean, he's such a good talker. I think he could easily translate into commentary if that's something he wanted to do. So I think if I had to make a prediction and put money on it, I would say, yeah, The Miz will be doing something in WWE after his in-ring career is over, most definitely. That'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ Video. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding Fastlane. Stay tuned for NoDQ Beach Balls. They are coming despite the ban by WWE on beach balls. NoDQ Beach Balls, NoDQ action figure belts are coming. Lots of cool stuff. Stay tuned for all that, and I will see you guys next time.